Caitlin Clark is no longer with us. She is neither hurt nor at rest. Fans are going crazy after learning just minutes ago that the WNBA had subtly removed her from the spotlight. That's not the craziest part, though, since Sophie Cunningham and Lexie blew up in a way that no one could have predicted as soon as this made news. No more being quiet or being polite. They didn't hesitate. And what they disclosed is rocking the league from the inside out. The benching of one player is not the only issue here. Power, partiality, media manipulation, and a league caught red-handed attempting to manage its stars are all at issue here. The internet erupted when Sophie and Lexie came forward and revealed the truth. Furthermore, the current situation has the potential to permanently alter the WNBA. This is just the beginning of the story, so fasten your seatbelts. It began with a murmur. Then her name disappeared from the starting lineup. The media then saw that she was not warming up. No official statement, no injury report, just gone. The biggest rookie star in WNBA history, Caitlin Clark, abruptly sidelined herself in what fans are calling the most strange departure in league history. Speculation spread like wildfire in a matter of minutes. It was load management, according to some sources. Others alluded to disciplinary grounds. Here's the worst part, though. Additionally, those same sources acknowledged that something didn't feel right. A long way off. Because this wasn't your typical benching. No regulations have been broken by Caitlin. She hadn't skipped any practice. She hadn't done badly. She was actually leading her team in headlines, assists, and points. Why, therefore, would the WNBA fire the one star who is bringing in a flood of new fans, filling arenas, and boosting ratings on his own? The leaks followed. Unspoken disputes between Clark and senior league officials started to circulate among league insiders. It seems that everyone in authority didn't like her vocal demeanor, her refusal to be quiet during post-game interviews, or her increasing social media influence. She was no longer merely a performer. She was a voice, a phenomenon. And that didn't sit well with some CEOs. According to one particularly damning allegation, Caitlin objected to league marketing plans during a private meeting, calling them tone-deaf and disconnected from true fans. Her minutes began to decline within 48 hours. She was benched in less than 72 hours. She has now been virtually vanished. There was a chilly, silent blackout, as if they were attempting to stop her momentum before it became uncontrollable. There was no news conference, no media access, and no statement from her team. However, the WNBA was completely mistaken if they believed that no one would notice, because their loudness wasn't merely noticed by fans. The hashtag, "Whereas Caitlin," became viral on social media. Answers were requested by thousands. Angry messages swamped the comment sections. Even NBA players stated that the action was dishonest, planned, and insulting to the game. It was made worse by the league's silence. However, silence was no longer the only issue. It has to do with keeping quiet. Sophie Cunningham intervened at that point, and everything changed. Sophie Cunningham didn't hold back. Sophie became scorched earth as supporters bombarded the league's email with indignation and media frantically sought answers. She issued the typical platitudes and lobbed a verbal bomb that startled everyone during a heated post-game interview. Unless you are afraid of your biggest star's influence, you don't ignore her. The WNBA's public relations team had no influence over how quickly that one sentence spread. Videos of Sophie's audacious call out went viral on all social media. She didn't end there. Sophie referred to it as retaliation on her podcast, at team meetings, and even during live broadcasts. She claimed that the WNBA was manipulating players' careers for political purposes. She criticized the league for prioritizing control over advancement. She also made a statement that most athletes were too scared to make in public. It wasn't because of basketball that Clark was benched. Fans immediately rallied around her. Movements emerged from hashtags. Number Free Clark and Number Stand with Sophie started to trend side by side. The league was caught off guard by her bravery, and the flames quickly spread. However, Sophie wasn't left on her own for long when Lexie announced the following day that she was prepared for battle as well. There was no statement posted by Lexie. She didn't conduct an interview. If Caitlin Clark can be treated like this, what do you think they'll do to the rest of us? she asked as she entered the press room following practice and looked directly into the cameras. That was all. There was no corporate tone or fluff, just an unvarnished truth bomb that rocked the WNBA and hushed the entire audience. That one sentence became a wildfire. The video quickly gained widespread popularity across all sports, not just among WNBA supporters. Suddenly, commentators on YouTube and ESPN were posing the same query. What on earth is happening at the WNBA behind closed doors? Lexie wasn't finished. She posted a black and white picture of herself and Caitlyn with the word loyalty as the description in a subsequent post. Numerous interpretations were sparked by that picture. In the locker room, was she revealing betrayal? Was it directed at coworkers or management? The timing couldn't be disregarded, but no one could be certain. Since the drama began, Lexie has reportedly been one of the most outspoken voices in team meetings. According to a leaked story, she confronted the coaching staff directly and questioned why the single player who was drawing sellouts was now on the bench. She apparently had support from her teammates. Overnight, rumors of a fracture inside the locker room made headlines. Even more startling, Lexie implied that players from other teams have been discreetly talking about the situation behind closed doors, off the record, and under increasing pressure to keep quiet. According to reports, she is assisting in the formation of a coalition of younger players who believe the league is mired in outdated politics and who fear losing everything if they speak out. The mysterious tweets followed. "If you want to build a legacy, stop silencing the ones who create it," was the remark that Lexie posted before removing it. Fans quickly took screenshots of it. It became viral on fan pages, TikTok, and Reddit. There are many who think it was specifically directed at WNBA executives. Some believe it was intended for media personalities who were attempting to minimize the incident. One thing, nevertheless, was universally acknowledged. Lexie wasn't merely responding. Together, they were making a stand. Lexie and Sophie had just established a front line, and now there was a full-fledged rebellion against the league. However, the supporters weren't just silently observing as the players spoke up. They were already starting their own online uprising. The fans started talking as soon as Sophie and Lexie did. They screamed instead of merely speaking. Everything went crazy on Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, and TikTok. In real time, hashtags like #Justice for Clark, #Free Caitlyn, and #Stop Silencing Stars went viral. Forums for sports were overwhelmed. Angry comments flooded WNBA posts. And in less than a day, the league was unable to ignore this news due to its widespread coverage on the internet. Fans started gathering proof, including timestamps, statements, clips, and side-by-side comparisons of player treatment. Some demonstrated how Caitlyn was shoved during games without calls. Others drew attention to the strange decline in her minutes in spite of her outstanding efforts. Referees were shown dismissing obvious fouls in freeze frames. Fans even monitored how Clark's coverage on WNBA social media platforms had decreased in recent days, making accusations. However, the WNBA's official response, a chilly, professional statement, made matters worse as fans were tearing through the internet, demanding answers. The WNBA eventually spoke up after almost 2 days of public indignation, and it was worse than being silent. Through their formal channels, a well-crafted corporate-flavored statement was released. Caitlyn Clark was not mentioned. The controversy was not acknowledged. The rising allegations of player silencing were not even addressed. Rather, it asked followers to have faith in the process and attributed everything to a planned rotating choice. There was an instant pushback. The fans didn't buy it. Players most certainly didn't buy it, and neither did reporters. In actuality, the statement's wording merely reinforced people's pre-existing opinions. This was a deliberate attempt to conceal a decision that had already sparked a full-scale uprising. Vague language, a lack of ownership, and a complete avoidance of the truth were all part of the league's PR strategy. However, this was not 2004. Fans are more intelligent. Social media is not forgetful. Furthermore, the story only grows greater when you attempt to spin it this large. Sophie Cunningham used a subtle eye roll emoji on Twitter in response to the league's statement. That one emoji received tens of thousands of likes in a matter of minutes, without any additional comments or captions. The message was quite clear. "We can look right through you," with the caption, "So, we're pretending this is normal now." Lexie Hall shared a video of the statement being read aloud. Fans loved the razor-sharp irony. Analysts with years of experience began to turn. "Rotational decisions don't erase your MVP candidate without a reason," tweeted a former WNBA player. "There's something more going on, and it stinks." And the harsh numbers. According to reports, Clark jersey merchandise sales fell precipitously overnight. For games she was no longer scheduled to play, ticket returns skyrocketed. Comments like "RIP" began to appear on YouTube videos of her highlights, which was the only reason I watched. For the first time in years, cities that had been selling out arenas were now staring at empty seats. Sponsors were also observing. Leaked sources state that before continuing with promotion, at least 2 brand partners privately contacted the league to ask for explanation. That's corporate jargon for "fix this mess before we pull out." Nevertheless, the WNBA increased its efforts. While players and fans lit up every platform at their disposal, there was no interview, no follow-up, and no apology, just damage control behind the scenes. However, the league was unaware of this. When one voice is silenced, 12 more emerge to replace it. And that's precisely what began to occur after that. Because players were making alliances and preparing to strike back from within behind closed doors in various locker rooms. Behind the scenes, a much larger rift was developing as the WNBA attempted to repair its reputation with spin. Not only were locker rooms tense, they were drifting apart. Before games, players would laugh together, but now they avoided eye contact, whispered in corners, and wondered who was loyal to whom. The matter was no longer merely contentious. It was radioactive. Sources close to several teams claimed that a widening rift was developing throughout the league. Silence versus rebellion, allegiance to the badge versus dedication to the truth, veterans versus novices. The seasoned pros who had spent years navigating were on one side. They had previously spoken their opinions. They were already on their feet. However, Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham weren't done, because they returned with a vengeance just as things were beginning to calm down. They weren't merely responding this time. A full-fledged warning was being issued. Sophie and Lexie looked directly into the camera during a joint interview that was broadcast live on sports networks without flinching. Just the truth, no diplomacy, no smiles. The sentence that broke the internet was dropped by Sophie. "No one is safe if you abuse the player who created your league in this manner." It was brutal, icy, and blatantly true. And that was a gut-punching blow. There was silence in the room. The reporters were taken aback. It wasn't just about Caitlin anymore, so you could feel the weight of what she just stated. It was about them all. The league attempted to silence every player's voice. Without missing a beat, Lexie pursued it. "We've been told to keep quiet for too long. No more." Boom. That was all. They had drawn the line in the sand. It was an obvious message. Fear is no longer an issue. The stars have finished adhering to the unwritten norms of the league. Players will defend one another if the WNBA fails to do so. The interview's clips went viral right away. It was dubbed the most honest moment in league history by commentators. Supporters erupted. NBA players clapped hands and used fire emojis in their retweets. Even rival WNBA players started liking and reposting the video, some with subliminal remarks like "say it louder" or "finally." And the movement, it went to an entirely new level. Fans started creating hashtags such as #PlayersOverPolitics, #LetThemSpeak, and #SaveWomen'sBasketball. Some even launched campaigns calling on sponsors to support the players or risk losing their money. Deep dives into WNBA internal dynamics started to appear in independent media sites. Former athletes shared tales of being benched, ignored, or silenced for speaking up. Suddenly, Clark wasn't the only one in the spotlight. The whole league was involved. Every policy, every executive, every silent fine, and every threat from behind the scenes. Everything was being pulled into the light. Sophie and Lexie stood in the center of it all. Not only outs or teammates anymore. Music.